There is a reason you have not arrived. It is not your work ethic. It is not your intelligence. It is that you have not yet dared to act like the man you were born to become. You have waited too long for signs. You have hesitated too often at the edge of your next step. You have asked the world for permission to succeed, when all along, success was waiting for you to assume it. The men you admire, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, did not tiptoe into their future. They stepped in with the stride of certainty, not because they had already won, but because they had already decided. Before the money, before the applause, before the proof, they walked as if the crown was already on their head. And so I tell you now, there is no greater secret than this, to act as if you have already succeeded. Speak it, dress it, decide like it, work like it. You are not lying to yourself. You are leading yourself. What you are about to hear is not theory. It is a weapon, a sacred law that rewrites destiny when followed with faith and fire. If you listen with your full mind, if you speak what is spoken here, you will not merely dream of success. You will step into it. Every man who has ever accomplished anything of lasting importance began not with a tool in his hand, but with a firm and unseen decision in his heart. The world will not move for a man who merely wants success. It bows for the one who assumes it. Before the riches of Carnegie were formed in steel, they were formed in belief. Before Ford built the moving assembly line, he moved as a man who had already earned the trust of destiny. Success, my friend, is never accidental. It is an echo, an outward reflection of an inward state that was first claimed in silence. There's a great law, a hidden law, that governs all advancement. I call it the law of assumption. It states that the man who walks in faith, as though the thing he seeks is already his, will attract the very conditions necessary to make it real. You are not asked to pretend nor to boast. You are asked to live from the end, to conduct yourself as though Providence has already sealed your victory. This law has been buried under the noise of doubt, forgotten by the many who wait for proof before they believe. But those who rule the world, whether by wealth, by invention, or by influence, have always lived by it, even if they could not name it. Let us look to Edwin C. Barnes, who stands as one of the clearest illustrations of this law in action. When he first arrived at the offices of Thomas Edison, he was a poor man in appearance, but not in mind. He did not approach Edison as a mere job seeker. He declared to himself that he would become Edison's business partner. That decision, made long before he had earned a single dollar, transformed his actions. He walked, spoke, and worked as if he already belonged among the inventors and giants. And in time, Edison, who could read the seriousness of purpose in a man's eyes, rewarded him not for his resume, but for the power of his inner identity. Now understand this, Barnes was not delusional. He did not ignore reality. He simply overruled it. He knew that the world changes for the man who first changes within. He was not pretending. He was preparing. And that, my friend, is what I ask of you now. Do not spend your days asking, what do I need to do to succeed? Instead, ask, who do I need to become, and how must I carry myself to match that man? You will find that the doing will follow naturally. A man who believes he is a leader will act like one. He will not wait for others to grant him approval. He will take responsibility, speak with clarity, and command the attention of life itself. You must build this assumption as a ritual. Each morning you must enter the role of the man you desire to be, not in jest, not as a fantasy, but with deep emotional commitment. Speak aloud what that man believes. Move your body as he moves. Make decisions as he would decide. You are not fabricating, you are forming. You are not impersonating, you are installing. The subconscious cannot resist repetition, and when repeated with emotion and belief, it begins to shift your reality. Let this truth take root. The subconscious must see the blueprint before it builds the house. Just as the architect draws the structure before the stone is laid, so must you design your self-concept before the world knows your name. The reason most men drift is because they are waiting for the world to validate a vision they have never dared to claim. But that is not your path. You are to declare it first. You are to build the identity now, and let the results be the inevitable echo of your new self. Why do you think men like Rockefeller were unshakable? It was not because they were born with gold in their veins. It was because they carried themselves with such unbreakable assurance that others began to see them as titans long before the wealth was visible. When Rockefeller entered a room, he moved slowly, not from laziness, but from certainty. When he spoke, he did so without apology. He acted as if the future was already formed, and the world simply obeyed the script he had rehearsed in his mind for years. Now I offer you this sacred exercise. Do not wait to feel ready. Act as though you already reign. Walk into your work as though you are the man who owns the outcome. Greet others not with arrogance, but with the quiet strength of a man who has already won. Stand in front of the mirror each day. Look yourself in the eye and say, I walk like a man already crowned. I no longer wait for permission. I act with conviction. My posture reflects my destiny. The world sees in me what I declare first. I carry the atmosphere of success, even before the results arrive. Speak these not as empty words, but as commands issued from the throne of your own mind. Feel them, believe them, walk away from the mirror and live them. Remember this truth: life never rewards the man who waits to succeed. It blesses the one who assumes success and moves accordingly. This is not falsehood. It is the highest form of obedience to the laws that govern all achievement. When you act as though the victory is already yours, you do not lie. You lead. You lead your mind. You lead your emotions. You lead your habits. And in time, you will lead your life into the exact image you have chosen. Let us proceed. There comes a time when a man must examine not merely what he desires, but who he has been while desiring it. For many claim to seek greatness, yet approach it with the voice, posture, and behavior of beggars. They whisper prayers laced with doubt. They speak ambitions softened by apology. They move toward their goals with hunched shoulders and lowered eyes. And then they wonder why their results arrive slowly, if at all. Let me tell you plainly, the world does not answer the cry of the uncertain. It reflects back only the certainty it perceives. It is not enough to wish. A beggar wishes. It is not enough to hope. A beggar hopes. The builder, on the other hand, expects. He does not ask the world whether he is worthy. He shows it. He does not plead with life. He commands from it. His words are shaped with conviction, his actions deliberate, and his self-regard unwavering, even if no man yet applauds. Until you abandon the language, the habits, and the identity of the beggar, you will find yourself returned to the same place again and again, confused, fatigued, and doubting your own design. Take a lesson from Henry Ford, who, in the early days of his endeavor, was met with laughter, ridicule, and dismissal. His ideas were declared impractical, his finances insufficient, and his ambitions delusional. Yet Ford did not flinch. He did not curse those who opposed him, nor did he grovel for approval. He acted with mechanical certainty, not because he had money in his pocket, but because he had clarity in his mind. His certainty was not born of success. It was the soil from which success later grew. You see, the man who walks with purpose is not made impressive by his possessions. His greatness is in how he moves before the evidence appears. Ford was a builder, and builders do not look to the crowd for validation. They look to the plan. They look to the blueprint forged in mind and etched in soul. His belief in the utility of his machines ran deeper than the world's doubt. And so, with every rejection, he did not weaken, he refined. This is the posture you must take. You must strip from yourself all tones of pleading. You must extract from your vocabulary the hesitations that weaken your message, Every time you say, I hope, you shrink. Every time you say maybe, you stall your progress. Instead, speak as a man of vision. Declare your aims with clarity, not to impress, but to instruct your own subconscious. The mind must be led, and it will not follow a master who sounds uncertain. The beggar waits for opportunity to knock. The builder crafts the door, then opens it himself. The beggar prays, then forgets his request by noon. The builder prays and then prepares the field for harvest. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. When a man speaks from faith, he is not boasting. He is obeying the law of assumption, the same law we introduced before. He is saying, I have already received it in spirit, and I now walk as the man who carries it in form. Let us pause here and speak aloud the affirmations that will begin to recode the voice of your own identity. But remember, they are not words to be read. They are declarations to be embodied. Say them as though the earth beneath your feet responds to your tone. I speak as a man of vision. I am not seeking, I am manifesting. I am the type of man who is purposeful. I carry the energy of one who has already succeeded. I do not ask for permission to become. I declare that I already am. Feel those words. Let them rise from your chest, not your throat. Let them form not only sound, but substance. You are not here to survive. You are here to stand. Stand as the one who has already seen the mountain and made peace with the climb. Do not ask, will I make it? Say, I am already walking in the direction of my rightful place. When others question your path, you do not owe them defense. You owe yourself discipline. The beggar explains. The builder executes. Think again of Elmer R. Gates, who trained his mind so precisely that he could command ideas to come to him in silence. He did not whimper into his notebooks. He sat upright. He demanded. He aligned his posture with his expectation. That is what is required of you now. Before we proceed, I ask you to search your words. When you speak of your future, do you soften your tone? Do you dress your sentences with hesitation? Do you speak your dream only after asking, what do you think? If so, you are still wearing the clothes of a beggar. Strip them now. You are a man with a definite chief aim. You are a man forging a new self through repetition and assumption. You do not walk as a man who is waiting. You walk as one who has already heard the voice of providence and now carries out the orders of destiny. Say again, I walk with the energy of completion. I do not audition for my own dream. I embody it. I walk into every room as a man already appointed. If you adopt this state, not once, but daily, you will find something shifts, not only in the way you think, but in the way the world responds. Strangers will begin to treat you differently. Opportunity will be drawn to your tone. Doors will creak open, not because of magic, but because you finally arrived as a man who had already been invited. Let us continue. A man may speak of faith, sing hymns about it, and offer poetic words in its praise, but unless he moves with it, he does not yet possess it. Faith, you see, is not a whisper carried on the wind. It is a hammer in the hand. It is the quiet, unshakable resolve to advance while the world jeers, while results are absent, while evidence has not yet appeared. The man who believes must act, not when it is easy, not when the path is smooth, but when the sky is overcast, when the crowd is silent, and when every step forward feels like dragging a weight uphill. Do not mistake silence for belief. Do not assume that because a man claims to believe, he has proven anything at all. Faith is not proven in stillness. It is proven in motion. A man who waits to see results before taking action is not faithful. He is fearful. He is one who waits for the applause before writing his speech, for the guarantee before stepping on the road, for the warmth before he builds the fire. But the man who has faith does not wait. He moves and the results follow, not because the path was promised, but because he made the path exist by walking it. This is the great tragedy of most men. They believe waiting is a form of preparation. But waiting that is not filled with action is decay. It is fear dressed in discipline. I say to you now, the world does not reward those who wait for conditions to become favorable. It rewards those who create favorable conditions through their motion. That is how Thomas Edison brought light into the world. He did not wait for the darkness to approve his invention. He built amidst doubt. He built while others ridiculed. He constructed, tested, failed, adjusted, and kept on building because he believed not that the light bulb would work, but that he was the man who would bring it into being. He was not powered by proof. He was powered by vision. Edison did not need the crowd to see it. He had already seen it within. And the man who has seen it within is more dangerous, more powerful, more persistent than the man who needs to see it outside first. Edison's steps were not reckless. They were obedient. He followed the call of a vision so deeply embedded in his mind that the noise of doubt could not drown it out. This is how you must move. You do not wait for signs to tell you it is time. You act and make your action the sign itself. You do not wait for encouragement. You become encouragement in motion. You do not wait for the door to open. You build the frame of the door and then walk through it. Let this truth sink into your soul. Your movement is the seed, and the result is the harvest. But the man who refuses to plant will forever curse the empty field. Consider how often your mind has waited for others to understand, waited for conditions to improve, waited for your emotions to align. And while you waited, others moved. While you hesitated, others acted. While you doubted, others built. And now they live in the results you say you desire. Understand this. It was not intelligence that gave them the advantage. It was motion. They moved with imperfect plans, unclear blueprints, half-formed sentences, and trembling hands. But they moved, and that made all the difference. When you declare, "I am the proof my vision is real," you do not wait for evidence to be delivered. You become the evidence. Your life becomes the proof. Your discipline becomes the argument. Your consistency becomes the sermon. You stop explaining and start embodying. You stop hoping and start building. You walk into the day not asking, "Will it work?" but commanding, "This is already working, and I walk in alignment with it." Let me offer you now a set of affirmations, not as poetic phrases, but as sacred orders to your subconscious. Speak them aloud with strength. Let your tone suggest that you are not in the realm of suggestion, but of command. I am the proof my vision is real. I do not require signs to act. My action is the sign. I move before the world believes because I already do. I walk as the man who has already arrived. Faith in motion builds the bridge. Repeat them daily, not just as a ritual, but as identity reinforcement. You must speak until your inner world obeys. Speak until motion feels like instinct. Speak until doubt dares not rise against your morning stride. Now some will say, "But what if I move and I fail?" And to that I say, then you have proof that you are closer. Every act of motion, even one that ends in error, is worth more than 10,000 thoughts that never become action. Every step taken teaches your soul how to walk stronger. Failure does not come from action. Failure comes from stillness pretending to be patience. Do not confuse delay with design. If your habit is to wait, you are not building faith, you are feeding fear. Action is the language of those who trust their Creator. Action is the tone of those who know the universe bends not for the timid, but for the relentless. Let us draw once more from the example of Henry Ford. Long before his empire was respected, he built it in his mind, then in barns, then in steel. He faced lawsuits, opposition, financial risk, but he moved. Not because he had the full path, he never did, but because he believed enough in the first step to take it. His motion proved his faith, and eventually the world followed. Will you do the same? Will you sit one more day waiting for motivation? Or will you move as though the gift is already yours? Remember, the man who becomes successful is not the one who waits to believe. It is the one who walks like he already does. There is a lie that has captured the minds of too many men, a lie that confidence is a gift bestowed upon the chosen few, that some are born with it, and others must walk the earth with heads bowed, waiting to be tapped by fate's generous hand. But let it be stated clearly, confidence is not a trait. It is a duty. It is not a mood. It is a posture a man assumes until the world is forced to agree. The successful man does not wait to feel confident. He acts confident long before results justify it. He enters the room with decision in his spine, with clarity in his gaze, and with a voice tuned not to the winds of opinion, but to the internal drum of purpose. He does not check for permission before speaking. He does not apologize for breathing boldly. His very existence is a declaration, and if he feels fear, he buries it beneath forward motion. You may be surprised to hear that even the great Theodore Roosevelt, a man admired for his robust leadership and thundering presence, was once weak, asthmatic, and feeble in youth. He was not born bold. He was born breakable. But he chose confidence as a discipline. He practiced speaking with conviction. He threw himself into physical exertion. He stood taller, breathed deeper, and acted like a man long before he was recognized as one. And over time, the world adjusted to the image he projected. What did Roosevelt understand that you must also grasp? That confidence is a tool, not a temperament. It can be sharpened by repetition, it can be shaped by intention, and it can be trained into you the same way a blacksmith forges steel, with fire, with hammer, and with daily effort. And this, my friend, is why so many remain in quiet failure. They wait for the feeling to come. They hope confidence will arrive like morning sunlight through the window, soft, warm, and effortless. But confidence does not arrive. It is summoned. It is invoked through action. It is installed like armor in the early hours of the day when you look into the mirror and declare not what you feel, but what you intend to become. You must not ask, "Do I feel like a confident man?" You must speak as one. You must walk as one. You must dress and carry yourself with the air of a man who already possesses the strength he seeks. And let me be clear, this is not arrogance, it is alignment. The man who knows his purpose is not arrogant for walking in it. He is obedient. Too often men conflate humility with hesitation. But humility is not weakness, it is strength under control. The humble man may kneel before his Creator, but he walks before men with certainty. Confidence is not a denial of your past. It is a declaration of your potential. It is not vanity. It is victory in progress. Consider what happens when you speak softly, walk without intention, and apologize for your presence. Your subconscious registers that as fact. It says, "This is the man we are." And so you behave that way in every negotiation, every relationship, every moment of opportunity. You whisper when you should command. You delay when you should decide. And you shrink when the moment demands expansion. But now imagine what happens when each morning you recite the following declarations, not once, not casually, but with the full conviction of a man becoming, "I am the type of man who walks in certainty. I am the voice of clarity in every room I enter. I am not asking, I am declaring. I am shaped by vision, not by fear. I am already the man I intend to become." Let these be your morning code. Write them, speak them, stand as you do so. Speak them from the chest. Do not whisper your future. Declare it. Let your voice be the chisel that sculpts your subconscious mind. Let each word echo louder than the doubts that once held you. Understand this. Every man you admire once felt fear. Every builder, every titan, every name etched in the granite of history once stood at the edge of uncertainty. But they did not yield. They trained themselves. They made their confidence a discipline, and through that discipline, they earned dominion. Let us look once again at Henry Ford. In his earliest ventures, he was derided as a fool, a dreamer, an impractical mechanic. But Ford did not let the voices around him dictate the tone within him. He built systems of success in his imagination before a single factory stood. And when he spoke of his plans, he did so not with tentative suggestions, but with engineering precision and executive tone. He acted as the head of an empire while he was still the worker with grease on his hands. This is not fantasy. It is the formula. The mind does not discern whether you are or whether you act as if. It only follows orders. It obeys the image most consistently repeated. And so I ask you, what image have you been repeating? That of a man waiting to become, or of a man who already is? You may ask, yeah, but what if I appear foolish? To that I say, you will, at first. Greatness always appears as delusion to those who have accepted mediocrity. But your duty is not to look believable. It is to become undeniable. And the man who practices confidence like a craft will eventually embody it like a second skin. Let me offer one final truth. Confidence is not the outcome of success. It is the prerequisite. The man who waits to win before he walks like a winner will never arrive. But the man who walks like a winner before he is seen as one, that man is writing the terms of his future in real time. Therefore, let us close this moment with your new assignment.